In this video, I'm going to describe to you the steps that you need to follow to complete your Paris Brest Paris 2023 pre-registration. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you all the pitfalls that you may encounter that may make this process a little more difficult than you anticipate. Good morning, it's 5 o'clock in the morning of the 14th of January, and it is now time to try to register for the Paris Brest Paris 2023. Pre-registration has already started. It started on the 14th of January at 12 p.m. local Paris time. And the randonneers that were eligible to do the pre-registration at this stage were those that have completed a distance of 1,000 kilometers or more in the preceding year. This period of registration for those that have completed the 1,000 kilometers or more lasts for 2 weeks before it opens up to the next set of randonneers that have completed a distance of 600 kilometers in the preceding year. The logic that follows is that those that have completed the 400 kilometers as their longest distance, then the 300 kilometers, and then the 200 kilometers will each have a 2-week window in which to complete their pre-registration. Now, there are two important aspects to the pre-registration process. The first is that you have to choose the time limit in which you want to complete the Paris Brest Paris in 2023. You may choose either from the 90-hour time limit group, the 84-hour time limit group, and the 80-hour time limit group. Within each of these 3 time limits, you have to then choose the release time at which you are going to start your Paris Brest Paris 2023 event. It's really important to realize that this is simply just a pre-registration and it's not the final registration. To complete your registration in the year of 2023, you have to complete your entire Super Randonneer series, and only once you've completed that and entered those homologation numbers will your pre-registration be converted to a full and complete registration. If for some reason you're not able to complete your Super Randonneer series, that pre-registration will be forfeited and will be made available to somebody on the waiting list. The registration process itself is actually a very simple process, and the first thing you need to do is go to the appropriate website. I will put the name of the website at the bottom of the screen. Once you get into the website, go to the registration button, click on that, and then go to pre-registration. By clicking on pre-registration, you will be prompted to enter the homologation number for the longest ride that you've done in 2022. Once this homologation number has been accepted, you will be taken to a page where you can either create a new account with the Auday Club Parisien or log into your existing account. If you are new to the process, you will probably have to open up a new account. You will then be asked to enter all your personal details, your full name, date of birth, country of origin, your address, as well as the details of your randonneering club. And once your account has been created, you will then be given the opportunity to review a summary of all the information that you have provided. You will then have the opportunity to select the type of bicycle that you would like to use in the 2023 Paris Brest Paris event. You can either choose from a conventional bicycle, a tandem, a triplet bicycle, or a special bicycle. Once you've completed that selection, you will then be prompted to choose the time limit group that you would like to ride in. So, for example, either the 80-hour time group, the 84-hour time group, or the 90-hour time group. This is a very important selection because I think it's not that easy to change your selection once you have made this. You have to be really clear as to what you would like to do at this point, and you must be quite clear as to your abilities and what your goals are for the Paris Brest Paris. Within each time limit group, you will then be given the opportunity to select the starting time or release time so that you can actually start your event. Now, most people would like to try and start as early as possible in each of these time limit groups so that they can maximize the amount of daylight that they have at the beginning of the ride. So it's really important to try to get in as early as possible and select the earliest time slot that you possibly can. For example, the 80-hour time group starts as early as 4 p.m. in the afternoon on Sunday, the 20th of August 2023, whereas the 90-hour time group that starts on the same day only starts at 5:30 p.m. So it's about an hour and a half later. so they've got an hour and a half less daylight in which to ride. Once you've completed your selection, you will then be provided with an entry number. Now this number is important because this will help you to make any modifications to your registration at a later time. Once completed, you will then be directed to the payment page to complete this transaction. You will have the opportunity to pay either via PayPal or using a credit card. Once the transaction has been successful, you will receive an email receipt. While this process is theoretically very simple and straightforward, there are multiple points at which things can go wrong. And it's really important to be aware of these pitfalls because they are likely to recur at subsequent waves of entry. Now, the first problem that I encountered with this pre-registration process was that I logged in immediately at the time when the website was open for pre-registration. And the moment I entered my homologation number, the website completely crashed. So they wanted the homologation number. And the website has crashed. The website has completely crashed. And was not available for almost 2 hours. Each time I would try to refresh the button and get back into the website, it would simply give me an error message. The website is completely crashed. It's just not allowing me to be able to register. How is that for luck, eh? So the first thing I did was I went onto Facebook to look at some of the chat groups. And in these groups, I found that there were multiple other pre-registrants who had encountered the exact same problem in that the website had completely crashed. This was reassuring in that I was not alone in this process, and it's quite likely that everybody was having the same problem at pre-registering. So I went onto the official Facebook webpage for the Paris Brest Paris, and I found that they had immediately issued an apology to say that they were aware of the process and that they were taking steps to correct the problem. They stated also that they were not a professional organization and they were purely made of volunteers. And they requested that we be patient with the process and give them time to correct the error. And while it is likely that most of the people that have done their 1,000 kilometer or longer brevets in 2022 have already made their time start selection for 2023, I foresee that this kind of problem that the website will crash will probably happen once the registration for those that have completed 600 kilometers as their maximum distance in 2022 opens for those people to register. And so it's important for you to be aware that the website may crash with subsequent waves of registration, so be prepared. While on Facebook, I noticed there were some other problems that had occurred during the registration process. One of these was that some people had forgotten their passwords, and although they were able to request a change of password, this process also seemed to be really very slow. So if you have an existing account with the Auday Club Parisien, make sure that you are aware of your password and you have it in a safe place and have good access to that at the time of doing your pre-registration. Or if you have forgotten your password, make sure that you request a new password well in advance. Another very common problem that I noticed on Facebook were that people had problems completing the payment process. Very often they would be able to open up their account, put in all their particulars, select their time slots, select the type of bicycle they were going to use, but when it came to the payment section, they were not able to complete that. So be aware that there may still be some additional pitfalls that you may encounter in this process. I would like to know what your pre-registration experience was like, and if you have any advice for those individuals that are still waiting to pre-register in future waves of pre-registration. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos about preparing for the Paris Brest Paris in 2023, please subscribe to this channel. Until the next time, ride safe.